stop everything you are doing right now and go find a mirror. I want you to look at yourself, really look at yourself, and ask one simple question. Who is that person staring back at you? Is that the person you promised yourself you would become? Is that the warrior you said you would be? Or is that a stranger, a weak version of you that has been hiding behind excuses, lies, and comfortable delusions for years? The truth is, most of you cannot even look at yourselves in the mirror for more than 5 seconds because deep down you know you have been living a lie. You know you have been pretending to be something you are not. You know you have been running from the truth instead of facing it head-on. David Goggins discovered this brutal reality when he was a 300-pound broken man going nowhere in life. He created something called the accountability mirror, and it changed everything. Today I am going to teach you exactly how to use this mirror to strip away every lie you have ever told yourself, and finally become the person you were born to be. This is not motivational fluff. This is a confrontation with your own soul. So stay with me because what you learn in the next few minutes might be the most important lesson of your entire life. Let me tell you where the accountability mirror came from and why it has the power to completely transform your life if you have the courage to use it. David Goggins was at the lowest point of his existence. He was overweight, working a dead-end job as an exterminator spraying for cockroaches and living a life that was going absolutely nowhere. Every single day he would wake up, look in the mirror, and see a man he did not recognize. He saw a man who had given up on his dreams. He saw a man who was controlled by fear. He saw a man who had accepted mediocrity as his permanent address. But one day something snapped inside of him. He realized that the mirror was not just showing him his reflection. It was showing him the truth, and the truth was ugly, painful, and impossible to ignore. That day Goggins decided to stop lying to himself. He took sticky notes and covered his mirror with every single truth he had been avoiding. He wrote down that he was fat. He wrote down that he was lazy. He wrote down that he was scared. He wrote down that he had no discipline. He wrote down that he was going nowhere in life. He wrote down every uncomfortable, painful, embarrassing truth about himself that he had been hiding from for years. And then he made a commitment. Every single morning he would stand in front of that mirror, look himself in the eyes, and read those truths out loud. Not to punish himself, not to feel sorry for himself, but to create a starting point for change. Because you cannot fix what you refuse to acknowledge. You cannot change what you pretend does not exist. You cannot grow beyond lies you keep telling yourself. The accountability mirror is not about being negative or beating yourself up. It is about radical honesty. It is about stripping away every layer of delusion that is keeping you trapped in a life you hate. Most people spend their entire lives avoiding the truth about themselves. They blame their circumstances. They blame their parents. They blame the economy. They blame their boss. They blame everything and everyone except the person who is actually responsible for their life. And that person is staring at them in the mirror every single morning. Until you accept full accountability for where you are in life, you have no power to change it. The moment you point the finger outward, you give away your control. The moment you point the finger at yourself, you take that control back. Think about all the lies you tell yourself every single day. I will start tomorrow. I am too tired. I do not have time. I am not smart enough. I am not talented enough. I will do it when the timing is right. These are not reasons. These are excuses dressed up to look like reasons. And every time you repeat these lies to yourself, you sink deeper into the quicksand of mediocrity. The accountability mirror forces you to see these lies for what they really are. It forces you to admit that you are choosing comfort over growth. It forces you to confess that fear has been running your life. It forces you to acknowledge that the only thing standing between you and your dreams is the weak person you see in the reflection. Goggins used this mirror to transform himself from a broken 300-pound man into a Navy SEAL, Army Ranger, and one of the greatest endurance athletes on the planet. But he did not start with big goals. He started with brutal honesty. He started by writing down that he could not swim, and then he learned to swim. He started by writing down that he was out of shape, and then he started running. He started by writing down that he had no discipline, and then he built discipline one painful day at a time. The mirror was his starting point. The mirror was his compass. The mirror was his constant reminder that the truth, no matter how ugly, is always the foundation for change. What most people do not understand is that you cannot build a great life on a foundation of lies. If you lie to yourself about where you are, you will never get to where you want to be. If you pretend you are already working hard when you are barely trying, you will never discover your true capacity. If you convince yourself that you are doing everything you can when you know you are giving 50%, you will never experience what 100% feels like. The mirror does not care about your feelings. The mirror does not accept your excuses. The mirror shows you exactly what is there, nothing more and nothing less. And that is exactly why most people avoid it. That is exactly why most people stay stuck for their entire lives. Now let me teach you exactly how to create your own accountability mirror and use it to break free from the prison of self-deception. The first step is to get brutally honest with yourself about every single area of your life. Take a piece of paper and write down the truth about your health, your fitness, your career, your relationships, your finances, your habits, and your mindset. Do not sugarcoat anything. Do not make excuses. Do not write what you wish was true. Write what is actually true right now in this moment. If you are overweight, write it down. If you are broke, write it down. If you are lazy, write it down. If you are scared to chase your dreams, write it down. If you waste hours on your phone every day, write it down. This list should make you uncomfortable. If it does not, you are still lying to yourself. The second step is to put these truths on your mirror where you will see them every single morning. Use sticky notes, use a marker, use whatever you have. The point is to make these truths impossible to ignore. When you wake up and stumble to the bathroom, half asleep and reaching for your toothbrush, those truths should hit you right in the face. They should wake you up faster than any cup of coffee ever could. They should remind you that you have work to do. They should remind you that the person you want to become requires you to face the person you currently are. The third step is to create action items for each truth. If you wrote down that you are out of shape, write down exactly what you are going to do about it. Run 1 mile every morning. Do 50 push-ups before breakfast. Cut out junk food completely. Whatever it is, make it specific and make it non-negotiable. If you wrote down that you are wasting time on social media, write down that you will limit yourself to 30 minutes per day and track it. If you wrote down that you are not pursuing your dreams, write down the first step you are going to take this week and do it. The mirror is not just for seeing the truth. It is for creating a roadmap from where you are to where you want to be. The fourth step is to check in with your mirror every single day. This is not a one-time exercise that you do once and forget about. This is a daily practice, a daily confrontation with yourself. Every morning you look at those notes and ask yourself if you did what you said you would do yesterday. If you did, you earn the right to keep that note on the mirror. If you did not, you have to look yourself in the eyes and ask why. You have to feel the weight of your broken promise. You have to experience the discomfort of knowing that you let yourself down. Most people avoid this discomfort their entire lives, which is exactly why they never change. The fifth step is to update your mirror as you grow. When you conquer one truth, replace it with a new challenge. When you lose the weight, add a new goal about building strength. When you eliminate a bad habit, add a new goal about building a good one. The mirror should always contain something that scares you, something that pushes you, something that reminds you that the work is never done. Goggins did not stop at becoming a Navy SEAL. He kept adding new challenges, new truths, new mountains to climb. Because growth is not a destination. Growth is a never-ending journey, and the mirror keeps you honest every step of the way. The accountability mirror works because it removes the distance between who you are and who you want to be. Most people have this fantasy version of themselves that lives somewhere in the future. They think they will become disciplined tomorrow. They think they will get in shape next month. They think they will pursue their dreams next year. But the mirror brings everything into the present moment. It says no, look at yourself right now, today, this very second. What are you doing right now to become that person? Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. Because the truth is, tomorrow never comes for people who keep postponing their transformation. The only moment you have any control over is this one. The mirror forces you to confront that reality. I want you to understand something critical. The accountability mirror is not about perfection. It is about progress. It is about moving one step closer to your potential every single day. You are going to fail sometimes. You are going to miss workouts. You are going to slip back into old habits. You are going to break promises you made to yourself. When that happens, the mirror is there to catch you. The mirror is there to remind you that failure is not final unless you quit. The mirror is there to say, yes, you fell, but are you going to stay down or are you going to get back up? Champions are not people who never fall. Champions are people who refuse to stay down. And the mirror is your constant reminder to keep getting up no matter how many times you hit the ground. So here is your challenge. Tonight, before you go to bed, I want you to create your accountability mirror. Write down every uncomfortable truth about yourself. Put them where you will see them every morning. And tomorrow when you wake up, stand in front of that mirror, look yourself in the eyes and make a promise. Promise that you will stop lying to yourself. Promise that you will face the truth no matter how painful. Promise that you will take one step today, just one step, toward becoming the person you know you can be. That is how transformation begins, not with grand gestures or dramatic overnight changes, but with small daily acts of honesty, accountability, and relentless forward motion. The mirror is waiting for you. The question is, are you brave enough to face it? Stay hard.